As you look at some of our things we're growing in our garden, kale, red Russian kale, and curly kale, red cabbage, some Swiss chard, and over in this direction we have a few tomato plants that are starting to take off pretty good. Behind that, a row of peas. You know, this used to be normal for folks. It would be normal to have a garden, and you grew as much as you could because it was what you lived on. We call it subsistence farming. And many people were subsistence farmers. They grew their food, they preserved food. They may have had a cash crop, and for many years it was tobacco. That was the cash crop. That's how they bought the kids' shoes. But much of what was eaten was produced on the land. And they also had food that they could put up, lots of potatoes and lots of tomatoes, things that could easily be preserved. We're trying to grow a few extra things here, but one of the things that we're trying to grow is our asparagus and some blackberries and other berries, raspberries down at the bottom, blueberries over in this direction, a few potatoes. But it used to be a normal thing for people to have plenty of garden. Squash area. We have butternut squash. We have straight neck squash. We have zucchini squash. And down below we have some cucumbers. Lots of squash. And we opened a new part. Pretty excited about our apple trees. They're not very old, but they're starting to produce a few apples already. And so I envision down the line having more trees and more apples. We got a few of the June Reds on this year, and look forward to having more of those. Wine sap starting to produce a little bit, and we're looking forward to that. We've got new rows over here that I had to rework some, and it's been a struggle, but plants are beginning to be happy over here. The green beans that the bugs attack pretty heavily, but they've put out new leaves. They're becoming healthy. They're going to produce well. Some tomatoes that weren't too happy before, but are beginning to be happy as they settle on this new part. It's sat empty for many, many years over here. And then I ate the first red raspberry. My wife, she was getting on me because I ate them, and it didn't come to her, but they're loaded this year. We anticipate having a lot of raspberries. We have 25 bushes altogether, and looking forward to these. But production. You know, one of the visions, one of the promises that we find in the Old Testament is that everyone would have their own vine and fig tree. It was a vision, an agricultural vision, that people would be able to provide for themselves, be able to enjoy the fruit of the ground. But you know, there's another vision today, and that vision has to do with what I call Shanghai syndrome. You know, I think of the poor people in Shanghai who were locked down by China, who lived in these apartments, and they wouldn't let them out because of COVID. The Shanghai syndrome. We're going to keep you where you're at, and you're not going to get out until we tell you. That's not the vision that I believe that we're to have. We're to have that vision of the vine and the fig tree, to be able to produce for ourselves. Not to have the government produce everything for us, It may be what the World Economic Forum is envisioning for everyone, that you just sit in your apartment, everything is brought to you. There's a different vision, and I think people are beginning to catch on to this. That vision is to produce for yourself, to learn how to produce for yourself, to go out and get it for yourself, provide for yourself. It's so important. I see that many young people doing that today. I've been encouraged doing the farmers market that I see young people who are producing food, who are catching a vision for their land to be productive again. They're buying some acreage and they're trying to make it productive once again. And if that's your vision, that's what Bloody Fork Homestead is all about. That's what I want to encourage you to do. We want to be an encouragement to you. We've done this, we've done it in our old age. We bought this place in 2019. I'm 66, my wife, she's 66. But it's possible. It's possible to do it when you're older or younger, no matter what. But learning to produce for yourself so that you can feed yourself. You don't have to worry about inflation that much. You can raise animals. It's tough. Some things are expensive to buy, but if you use wisdom, you can produce a lot. I'm going to look forward to pulling some more carrots this year, or this week, I should say. We've got quite a few carrots here in this bed, but the land is productive. There's ways to learn how to grow a lot of your own food. A butternut squash. Something that you can grow. This will give us quite a few squash to sell as well as to put up for the winter time. Looking forward to it. But a vision. What is your vision? Is it the vine and the fig tree, or you do want an apartment in Shanghai under complete control of the government? I don't care. I don't want anything to do with the apartment in Shanghai. Give me a few acres. Give me the opportunity to work it, and we'll make the most of it, and we'll make the land productive again. And that's what we're all about at Bloody Fork Homestead.